This is Ollie and Izzy doing a podcast for our media evaluation.
The question that we're going to be answering is, looking back at our preliminary tasks, what do we think we have learnt in the progression from the full product?
So we're going to be looking back at our preliminary tasks that we did on our first day of media and seeing how it compares to our final product. So without further ado, let's get started. So the whole idea was that we would have someone running down a corridor and opening the door and going in. As you can see from that bit there, we decided to switch from the dramatic black and white picture, slow motion running, into a what you could call a pun as he bursts through the door into colourful surroundings.
And we used that for humour, really. We found it quite funny when filming it. And then this is Ben running up the corridor, still the same effect of black and white and slow motion. We felt this was really dramatic for something so simple.
That bit there was the first time we used a different camera angle from, the usual medium shot, from sort of a worm's eye view, looking up as Ben jumps over the camera. Then we went straight into another camera angle, which is where we followed Ben.
Yeah, we used a tracking shot for this, and we thought it was really effective and actually quite fun to film.
Still adding in this dramatic effect, and then he walks in and sits down. And then there we switch back to colour to get rid of the serious look on it and go into sort of colourful effect. Add in another pun.
Yeah, we just found Guess Who on the day and we thought we might as well use it. And it created quite a horrifying noise, and we still used the real soundtrack for it.
And then we went back to serious. We did a behind the head shot from behind the shoulder looking at me, but we didn't actually end up doing any shots of Ben's face from behind me.
I don't think we quite understood it at that point.
No, so as you can see from that, we have limited amount of
experience.
Yeah,
None of us
limited
did.
camera angles,
Yeah.
and just sort of nothing too fancy, and the editing was quite simple.
None of us did GCSE media, so that's probably why. We were all very, very new to it, and we all just had a bit of fun doing our first prelim task.
And since then, our group's filtered down to only us two left from the 5 that was actually part of this. So if we go on to our current final product, we can see that we have come quite a way. But also, a couple of weeks later, we went back to Bad Day in the Office and made this second one. This was to piece it all together, because before it wasn't ongoing, as we had those gaps in the middle for effect.
Yeah, we had the screen was going black.
Exactly,
when
and
he was running down the corridor, and Miz said that wasn't continuous, so we
changed it slightly and added new bits. As you can see, burst through the door. We still have that same idea of the pun, but it's just continuous. We try and match it as much as possible, keep the same camera angles. So as you can see, we haven't actually extended on the camera angles front. We have just sort of
got rid of the...
It was mainly about making the editing better.
Yeah.
But as you can see here, we have, the front on view of Ben for the first time, which is working. If you hadn't seen the first Bad Day in the Office, you wouldn't know who he's looking at. But you feel like you're that person as he's running in, looks straight at you. And we don't actually...
Bit of a tilted camera angle there.
We don't actually see, well, it was me, until the Guess Who bit, which sort of, because he's called me boss, doesn't really show how sort of official I am, because obviously I'm there playing Guess Who with no one else. For that bit there, to prolong out the squeaky noise, we've added in different camera shots to prolong it and just to show that suspense. And then went on to the the only bit of dialogue. There, slight mistake. We only went from behind my head onto Ben and didn't really see much of his face. And actually, something clever about this is that the sound in this of me speaking isn't actually from here. We added it in from the first one.
The audio was
and
different,
it just matched perfectly.
Yeah.
So we used it.
What was the line there?
How do you think he got there?
And
And
that was in the... Yeah, I remember that.
But as you can see, once again, camera angles limited, over quite quickly, didn't really cram that much into the minute that we had.
So, personally, I think we've come a long way in a few months, especially from not doing GCSE media. We've had lots of practice with other kind of media projects, little ones, and filming for our final product was probably the most stressful thing we have done in media, but we actually really enjoyed it, and we thought, even though we had a bit of troubles here and there due to location, we actually pulled it off in the end, and I believe we learnt a lot. And like Ollie was saying earlier, the camera angles, well, now we think about them more, and we think about the continuity and the match on action and the shot reverse shot, and what we've learnt in lesson, we try to apply it in actual filming, and I think we've come a long way. We understand angles more and what like representations, like different ones for different angles, and we only use the worm's eye view in the prelim task because we thought it was a cool
we didn't
cool
use
shot. We didn't
use any other real angles like in the our actual final edit. We've used as many as we can, and I think we have. It does show how much we have progressed, despite it only being about 6-7 months. But I think we have come quite far from our preliminary task.
Thank you for listening.